How you doing? I have to talk about this because it's bugging me bad. And some of you may have picked up on this yourself. And others are thinking, what are you talking about? Spit it out, damn you. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that Jared Lysak has been arrested. We know that. He's being looked into for these historical charges against his cousin. And look, there's mixed emotion out there about that. Of course there is. There's people who support Jared because of the good work that has been done by Adventures with Purpose, and I get that. I understand it fully. I don't think that it completely excuses what people do when they've done bad and they later do good. Should it be taken into consideration? Yes, I do believe that should be taken into consideration, especially if it's true and proven that they have indeed turned their life around, and what they did was at a relatively young age, and pretty much throughout their adulthood they have indeed shown, and it's been proven that they have turned their life around. Should they still be punished? That's the bit that gets a little bit more complex. But I also think that you have to be fair. If you want to turn around and say the likes of Jared Lysak deserve to be punished, or equally he doesn't deserve to be punished, then what about Don Wells? Now, those of you who do not know who Don Wells is the father of missing Summer Wells. Now, there's a lot of controversy around that case. There are many people who feel that Summer's parents have had an involvement in her going missing. She has not been found, and a length of time has passed. If you are unfamiliar with that case, look at my playlist, go through it. There is an abundance of information on the Summer Wells case. But what's that got to do with Jared Lysak? Well, again, those of you who are unfamiliar with Don Wells, as part of this sort of debacle, if you like, Don Wells, for much of the investigation of the Summer Wells case, he was incarcerated, and he was incarcerated for an old DUI. He done something else, he got put away, and he spent near on a year incarcerated. And while he was incarcerated, it got brought out that he had basically done exactly the same as what Jared Lysak had supposedly done. And again, all this is, they have to go through due process. But my point being, they're almost identical in their nature. We've also had the likes of The Interview Room and Chris McDonough. He was getting heavily involved in the pushing of Don Wells being this monstrous beast who had done these things. He had, had the victims, the supposed victims of Don Wells on his channel. He had helped them build up their own YouTube cooking channel, so on and so forth. And there was huge speculation over the fact that Don Wells would come out of incarceration and be quickly and swiftly put back in cuffs and extradited over to Idaho, where these had taken place, and he would be dealt with. Didn't happen. So much like nothing seems to have been done to Don and Candace Wells with respect of what happened to Summer, also nothing has happened in respect of the historical cases that were brought forward against him with regards to his stepsister. So I have to ask, what does it take to get certain people looked at in accordance with the law? And why is it that other people seemingly have no protection, but other people seemingly can do whatever they like and get away with it? And what seems to be the common thread is that they have some form of connection to law enforcement, whether that be a friendship, whether it be a distant relative, or something of some sort. Or, of course, the old buckaroonies. And I don't get it. A system that's set in place that should be fair, should be just, is seemingly bought and sold quite easily. I bring attention furthermore to the Michael Vaughan case and the fact that little Michael Vaughan went missing seemingly off the back end of parental neglect. I hate to say it, but that's just the way it is, whether people like it or they don't. This was a young boy who was a flight risk. He posed a flight risk to his parents, and they did nothing about it. And nothing has happened. And yet there are people today who are sitting in a jail cell because their child came to harm because of their neglect. And some of them are serving a long, lengthy sentence. So I'll put it to you now in the comments. Hit me up. Why is this? Why are some people like fucking Teflon Don and other people, they only have to sneeze wrong and they get hauled over the coals? I'll be interested to hear your take on things, and maybe I'll learn something. I'll catch you all in the next one.